So last week, and I remember this was a tough interview, Natasha was talking to Desiree McGraw and told us she's a liberal MNA, by the way, about the pain, range of emotions she went through after a series of miscarriages and then a stillbirth. And she did this because she had pushed for adoption, and it has now been adopted, of a perinatal bereavement awareness day. So that is to underline the challenges faced by parents who lose a child, and then, of course, the need to improve support for those families who go through that, which is what we're going to talk about today. Matthew Park is a social worker and bereavement coordinator at the Montreal Children's, and he's on the line right now. Matthew, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you very much, Aaron, for having me.
Yeah, I talk about bereavement, and perhaps for some people it's difficult to understand just how difficult this is to go through to begin with. But when you've been in a situation like this or know a family member who has, I guess the second half of this is, okay, it happened, and now I don't really know how to cope, and I'm not sure there's anyone there who can help me. So how can they get help?
So with regards to the Montreal Children's Hospital, we have chosen to go ahead to try and create a bereavement program to be able to consolidate and standardize the care that we're offering to families, to be able to offer a one-year follow-up for families who've lost a child at the Children's. This is a little bit different than what we've been offering before in terms of a more standardized approach and ensuring that we don't have one family that goes missing in terms of being able to access that support.
So with respect to the program itself, can you describe what sort of services are offered within it, and who is it available to specifically?
Sure. So really it's offered to any family who has lost a child at the Montreal Children's Hospital. We want to offer a year-long follow-up. This could be in person, by phone, via Teams, at different intervals over the year, but also to connect people with CLSCs, our community partners like LeFAL, private services as well, to be able to just meet the needs of what families are looking for.
And within that for people, and you mentioned specifically having lost a child at your Children's, and obviously there are people who have lost a child in other situations. What do they do, by the way? Is there a government program available for them other than this day that's now been set aside?
They're not there. I can't say there is necessarily a specific program through the government that's available. There are services offered through CLSCs, through the community, but they do also have to look for those as well.
Okay. And what is, maybe it's an unfair question.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, what are the typical sort of situations you deal with here? It's a very difficult thing, obviously, to have to go through. What do you typically see, or is there such a thing as typical?
So I don't think there's anything that's typical. I think what's important to take away from this is that everyone lives a certain loss in a certain way, and what might help for one person may not be the right thing for the next. So I think really what our goal is to look at what families might need and being able to accompany them along that journey as well.
So with access that you're going to provide as part of this new program, you said it would last for a year?
So the idea is to be able to do this over a year-long period. Really the professionals, I'll say the psychosocial professionals, could be a psychologist, social worker, spiritual care, child life, just to name a few, who knew the family and knew the child while the child was being treated or receiving care at the Montreal Children's, would be able to be the identified person to be able to provide that support. Families just anecdotally have told us that they want to keep those connections in most cases with the Children's Hospital. Sometimes it's a home away from home, being able to have all that treatment. And when a child dies, all those connections, those bonds that you have with the treating team tend to stop as well.
You know, as I hear you say this, I can't help but think back to the many years we've been at the Children's when we do our fundraiser every year, and hear from parents who have children who, as you just said now, have sort of become family to the people treating them. And that's always the hardest thing, is to when that connection ends, even when it's in a good way and a child manages to go home, they still want to come back and see the people who helped them even back then when they were in the hospital.
That's definitely the case. And there are certainly family members who, through whether it's the care of their child that they received, want to give back, or even there are families who want to give back who've lost a child as well. Recognizing that they just want to give back and help other people through situations that are really difficult.
Yeah, I would ask as well, and again, maybe just to fill in some blanks here, when you say this program is there, does that mean an entire family gets to come? Or is it just the mother? How does that work?
Sure. So maybe I can start a little bit back. This has been implemented as of May 2023, and it really has been put in place by the Montreal Children's Hospital Foundation and generous donors. This is something that we launched, not necessarily having all of the funds to be able to do it, but felt that there was a strong need to be able to start and hit the ground running. We're still missing, for example, a psychologist to be able to join our team, child life specialist to be able to help with some bereavement support groups. So we're starting smaller with the idea of looking at what are we doing, because it's not that we were not offering services to these families. It's being able to standardize and make sure that if a child dies in the ICU versus in the ER at 2 in the morning on a Friday or 2 in the afternoon on a Monday, that they are offered the similar and services that can help them.
Okay. And for people hearing this, again, who may know somebody, sadly, who was in this sort of situation, who didn't even know this the program existed, and thankfully we get to mention it now and pass along that information, what do they do to contact the children? It's like, how would it work?
So they can reach out, I would say, Le Children's Day at muhc.mcgill.ca for if they're looking to be able to be connected. That really goes directly to me.
Okay.
And a phone number as well, 514-412-4400, and the extension is 24406. Again, this is for families who have been followed here at the Children's. If there are other requests that come in, I will try and direct them into the community. But we would like to have like a standard way of being able for families to reach out. Some of the hard piece in just those days and those weeks after the loss of a child is just having the energy to be able to reach out to somebody. So our hope is for us to be able to make that first step, but also have a standardized way that families know when they were followed with the Children's, they can reach out this way.
So, Matthew, I would just ask you, because people may be listening, can't jot this stuff down that quickly, just let's go through this again. You can go online to muhc.mcgill.ca.
So basically, what's been created for the program since I've started is an email address. So that would be the easiest way to reach out.
Okay.
And it is Le Children's Day, all one word, at muhc.mcgill.ca.
Le Children's Day, is that correct?
Le Children's Day, the French word for grief.
Oh, okay. Le Children's Day.mcgill.ca. And the phone number that you gave out was 514, I believe, 412-4440. Is that right?
4400. And the extension to reach the bereavement coordinator is 24406.
244. They need to give you shorter extensions.
Okay.
412-4400, and the extension is 24406. Matthew, thank you so much, and best of luck with this program. I know it's something that people absolutely needed and wanted. It's nice to know it's in place.
Thank you very much for just shining a spotlight on this.
Thank you.